Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Not come on in. Not come. Sorry, y'all. Y'all know I'm weird. Whatever.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl BondyBlue. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl BondyBlue. Okay, follow me on Instagram and let's get into the video. Right?
Hey y'all, what's going on? We are back for another MFN advice because it's time for my motherfucking advice, right? So I put the link in the chat. We'll see if somebody comes up today. If not, I still have something cute for y'all today. And I'm not going to be on here long. So it's not going to be one of them times where I wait 30 minutes and, if somebody comes on, I'm not doing that today. I actually wanted to play a clip for you guys because I thought just the conversation was interesting, first of all. So I want to play this clip for y'all from TikTok. And then because I mentioned it and I wanted to just watch it with y'all, just because I like for us to think and have these conversations and just kind of open up our minds and all of that. Not as a way to make anybody think a certain way, but we don't know what we don't know. You know what I mean? So I just want to share something that I found interesting. And then I'm gonna read y'all am I the asshole from Reddit. And once I finish that, I'm probably gonna go ahead and dip out because I'm low-key tired. Like I've gotten back into working out, thank God. Which makes me feel so much you know, so much better, like as far as my body is concerned. Like I noticed when I wasn't working out, I kind of wanted to like drink more or smoke more. And I feel like working out kind of helps temper that. But I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I still like wine. Like, I want a glass of wine. And I'm trying to chill, but I still want a glass of wine. Anyway, I'm probably gonna drink me some wine and just be like, fuck it. Okay, I worked out today. I'm gonna drink some water. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna drink some kombucha. I'm gonna take my medication. All right. But anyway, y'all, I'm gonna play this and let's just get into it. And please comment. Let me know what y'all think. Keep the conversation going, girl.
Atheist over an agnostic.
Okay, so this is why she's an atheist over an agnostic. I didn't even know what an agnostic was. So let's look up the definition of that first. And I also want y'all to know I am not an atheist, okay? But I also feel like theology and the study of religion is fascinating to me. And I also believe, much like this woman said, I think we create our gods, not the other way around. And I just feel that way based off of human behavior and how things have happened, how things have gone. Like I say history because to me there's a pattern of behavior happening with people and why they choose a certain God. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to say the term agnostic refers to a person who holds the view that the existence of any ultimate reality such as God is unknown and probably unknowable. Agnostics neither believe nor disbelieve in a God or a religious doctrine, asserting that it is impossible to know how the universe was created and whether divine beings exist. The term originated from the Greek word agnostos, meaning unknowable. So basically, they don't argue one way or another. Okay. Atheist is the denial of the existence of God or spiritual beings and the rejection of religious beliefs. Okay. So just to be clear on why she is an atheist versus an agnostic, she goes to explain, but her explanation is fascinating to me.
One of the things that was most damaging to my testimony when I was in theology school was actually studying what kinds of societies create what kinds of gods. And it got to the point where you could give me a society and tell me how it functions, and I will tell you what kind of god they had, and I would be right. If your society was dependent on trade, you would have polytheistic tolerant gods. We're talking Hindu gods, Roman gods. They don't require a lot of people. And also by being tolerant for diverse beliefs, it allows for flowing trade. If the society is a hierarchy with a strict authoritarian leader at the top, then the gods will also be that too. That god will be omnipotent and controlling. Think Islam. If you have a small egalitarian hunter-gatherer society, then you have animism, and your god will not really be watching over your morality. In fact, we only get gods who need to watch over people's morality when the society gets too big that it can't kind of self-manage. So, for example, if you're a thief in a small tribe, then everybody knows that you're a thief and you pay a social cost for that. But if you're in a big society, you actually don't actually know who everybody is. And so you need God to kind of fulfill that role of, I'm watching you.
Okay, now I just want to stop her right there. The reason why that rang true to me is because I remember hearing a while back the reason, and I think this might have been from Princella, that men need religion because they need to be told what to do. And one of my close friends is a prime example of this. He is a starch Catholic, right? And I've had conversations with him where he shared with me that he feels like there is something inside of himself that he is always having to control. There's a beast inside of him that he always has to be in control of. And I feel like a lot of men have that same thing going on, something inside of themselves that needs to be controlled. And so they seek out a religion that gives them certain rules so that they can control themselves based on those rules. And I remember having this conversation with him where I was like, we both grew up in Catholic school and church. So the fact that he would assume that I was somehow unknowledgeable or I just decided I don't like religion because of my personal issue. Like, religion is personal. Religion is personal. Okay. First of all. But second of all, I don't need the fear of hell. I don't need the fear of punishment in order for me to be a good person. To me, men like him require religion because they need to fear something sometimes in order to be a good person. They need to fear something outside of themselves in order for them to do the right thing. I don't need to be scared of something in order to do the right thing. I will sometimes do the right thing simply because I can put myself in somebody else's position. And if I were that person, this is how I would feel. That's where the empathy thing comes in, right? So that's one of the reasons why when she said this, it really caught my attention because it aligns with other things that I've heard that I agree with as far as why people pick certain religions. And it has something to do with their own situation, their own mental. I feel like my dad was much like this, much the same. As he got older, very much more involved in church. He would sometimes go to church. My mama was in a choir, so I would want to go to church with my mom. My dad wasn't somebody that went to church for everybody else. He didn't need to hear the choir. He wanted to be home to cook at a certain time, so he would go to church earlier than us. He would go to the 8 o'clock mass. We would go to the 9 or the 11 o'clock mass, depending on how our morning started. You know what I'm saying? And this was because I feel like my dad really was somebody that was struggling internally with himself and his own intelligence, his own empathy, how he felt like things should be, but battling something within himself. He has anger issues. So it made sense that this man would make it his business to go sit in that fucking pew at 8 o'clock in the morning every Sunday and get that word. Now, did that help him calm down his anger and his abuse? I don't know. I don't know. I don't feel like I can really say that. I don't. And that's another reason why I feel like religion doesn't always work, because to me, what it's meant to do doesn't always keep men in line. And it's meant to keep men in line. And what she's saying is because we have overpopulated the world, okay, because we are overpopulated, a community cannot keep everybody in check like it should, because you don't know everybody in a community. So you have to rely on existential shit in order to control the masses. And that's why the group think thing is both a positive and a negative, because positively, it can make the culmination, all of the people feel like this is good and this is bad. That can be good or bad. Like we all can agree murder is bad, right? Most people can agree that. Okay. So, we can all agree to that. That's group think. But also we know how groupthink has people lynching folks, and groupthink makes you just adopt to a mindset. Groupthink is the reason why you have cults and Trump supporters, people that are irrational in their followership, right? Because they don't think critically. They see something, somebody tells them that's how they should feel. They feel that way. They fight and argue on behalf of that with no real critical analysis of it. And it's basically because that's what they've been indoctrinated into. Those people apparently can only do the right thing when they've been indoctrinated to do the right thing, not just because it's a better thing to do. You feel me? So anyway, let her continue.
If you live in an environment where there is unpredictable weather and natural disasters, you're going to have some chaotic, moody gods. Think Mesopotamian gods, Aztec gods. You're also going to have a lot of rituals in these religions because you need these rituals to feel safe in a very unpredictable world. In a society where you have large scale agriculture that actually is stable, you can get benevolent gods because you need long term cooperation. You need empathy and things like that in order to have long term stability. But if you are nomadic, you get punitive gods because if you are on the run and you're just kind of going from land to land with your animals and someone comes and steals your animals, that is devastating. And so you need a god that will punish that for generations. And we can actually watch this happen in the Bible when we watch the Old Testament God turn into the New Testament God because there are society differences that allowed that to happen. We can even look at weather. How dependent are you on agriculture? If you're very dependent on agriculture, then you need gods that are storm gods because they control the weather. If you have a society that values reason or the values of like the Enlightenment, you're going to get a deist god. So this would be a creator god, but not one that has emotions, not the one that's moved by personal prayer, not a personal god. This is what this is the God that the founding fathers believed in because they valued rationality. So that's
Now, mind you, we have been so miseducated. I didn't even know that that was how they thought about God, as merely a creator God, but not somebody you pray to, not somebody that is in charge of your morality, not somebody that's going to strike you down to hell. And the way America teaches their history now is that our forefathers believed in God above, in religion and all of that. And the truth of the matter is, no, they did not feel this way. And I felt like when I was in school, when I was younger, I went to a Lutheran school, and I felt like they were actually trying to educate because this is a group of people, it's mostly white people. So they're trying to educate accurately at this time because they want y'all to be competitive. This is a private school, not a public school. We want you to be competitive. So we have to like teach you the facts of situations. And from what I understood, the Puritans came from Europe, escaping religious persecution because the people in England did not agree with their religious beliefs. So they came here to America for freedom of religion and freedom of persecution for their religion. Why the fuck would y'all then tell everybody in America that they have to believe in a God that believes that gay people are wrong, that believe, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have now decided to create this mosh posh of religions, put it under one God, and then decide that this is the God everybody should be praising and, adhering to, even though this country is built off of freedom of religion. Girl, it is very, very confusing and contradictory.
the kind of God that you get, just a God that's impersonal, who created the universe, but doesn't really care about us beyond that. That was like a 10-hour lecture that I tried to whittle down to 3 minutes, but I even see this individually. If you talk to people about their beliefs in God as much as I do, you see that they created the exact God that they need. People who psychologically need more order and structure to psychologically function have a more black and white defined God. People who are naturally empathetic or have compassion as a core value will have a God of love. If you needed a revolution, you created a revolutionary kind of God. The God of Black churches in America is different than the God of white churches in America because Black churches definitely needed a Jesus who would come, who would make the first last and the last first. They needed that kind of revolution. So they really leaned on that kind of restorationist theology.
Did y'all hear her? Black Jesus and white Jesus are different because Black people needed to be saved. You hear it? And I know y'all know that to be true. I'm going to let her continue.
Who cannot function in this world psychologically, knowing that good guys sometimes lose and bad guys sometimes win, need a God of ultimate justice. So I'm an atheist not because I've looked out into the universe and I know for sure that there is no God. I also don't know how to explain kind of life on Earth. It's still, fundamentally mysterious to me. I'm an atheist because we create God. And I can prove that how we do that as a society. And I can also see how we do that individually. If you tell me the God that you believe in, I can learn a lot about you and what you need and what your fears are and what your subconscious desires are. And that kind of tells me that we are the ones creating God rather than God creating us.
Also, historically, you will see, if you look in history, different groups of people had different types of gods based on how they were living at the time. So, for instance, before your Abrahamic religions became such a huge thing, that's your Christianity, Judaism, I believe Buddhism, other, male god type of religions. Those were not the first religions. They lie to y'all and tell y'all that was the first religion, but it wasn't. Before that, in Mesopotamian times and times before Mesopotamian and around that time, there were female gods. Women were considered gods. Do you know why? Because they had children, because they created another person. So, to the mind of the people back then, that's all I need in order to siphon that somebody is a god. They create other people. You know what I'm saying? All and also because of I think how mothers attend to children. That's why you see in a lot of religions all across the world like that the Madonna figure, and the Madonna figure is holding a baby Jesus. Y'all, that is so layered and nuanced to me, because I do notice the way men want to be treated like children by their women. They want some type of mother wife god, while they are a child male god. And you know what I'm saying? Because y'all know in America here, we don't view Mother Mary and Jesus in that respect. People in Brazil do. People in Brazil and South America recognize the Madonna and the child as a previous god, where she was the main god, the woman, and then she had her partner and or child. It was kind of interchangeable, the baby god being a male, but also being a baby, being her counterpart part, but also being her child. I always thought that was so interesting, how that actually plays in the way Black men think about their role to women, right? Like, if you think about it, Black men want, and I'm saying Black men because I literally saw a video of Boosie yesterday talking about how he wants his woman to act like a mother. Like, you want her to be a mother to you. And I'm like, yeah, that, and people don't even realize how much that is kind of steeped and based in religion. I'm about to show y'all the Madonna that I'm talking about. Brazil. I think it was Brazil. Of course, they only gonna show me all of the white paintings. Okay, but I'm about to share this tab with y'all. Okay, so do y'all see this? Like, over and over again, through different religions, through different time periods, you've seen like this representation of God, which is the woman and a baby. And now we assign that to Mother Mary and Jesus. But before Christianity became the larger religion, that was already a thing. This right here. Yeah. Black Madonna and child. Like, it was already a thing. And then we just assigned Jesus and Mother Mary to these statues. But these statues existed because at some point there was a female God. And the way they viewed it was she was the mother, wife God, and she had a child versus male counterpart, type of God. But they were different, they were different. And I think that's so interesting when you think about how that plays on the psyche, right? Because you have patriarchy, right? Like, that's why I say we have all these confusing, mixed up ideologies that we've really pulled from a whole bunch of different places, which backs the statement that she made about people picking their God based on what they need, right? Um, hold up. That's not the one I wanted. I was trying to, there was another one. Uh, let me see. I feel like I did not save it, and I thought I did. Mm, 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 mm. Damn. I I hate that I can't find. It was a guy talking, and she had clipped his, and I forgot about it. I forgot which one it was, child. Oh, hold on, let me see. Okay. One more. And then we'll move to the am I the asshole?
Passive reaction, this passive response.
Go listen to that whole video, it's very interesting. Historically, Black churches in America have been central for Black communities. And you could make a good argument for why this particular community would want Jesus to come back and want the last to be first and the first to be last. Because this community, for obvious reasons, had a very social justice oriented aspect of Jesus, it was kind of easy for Democrats, whenever they needed votes, to just go to Black churches and get their votes. But what's happening now with the younger generation, which I think this content creator brilliantly pointed out, is that they're realizing that just by going to church and singing and believing that Jesus is going to come fix it all, it's actually stopping us from fixing it all. And it goes back to my point overall, which is that yes, religion for the short term can provide many security blankets for all kinds of human concerns. But it does harm for us in the long term, because rather than face reality when we have a nice, comfortable story about how it's all going to be okay, we actually don't work as hard to actually make it okay in this life. It's a security blanket. It makes us feel better. It can sometimes even make us function when things are hard. But eventually that security blanket is just going to make us take a nap on the couch. So it's been interesting to watch younger generation Black people, especially the ones that are leaving religion, essentially say, I don't think the best way that we can do the activism that we're wanting, I don't think the best way to do that is by singing that Jesus is going to come save us.
Okay. So yeah, that was the ones that I wanted to share with you guys. And I find it, very interesting. She speaks also on like the other spirituality and um like current spirituality. What are they calling it? Now with the tarot cards and all of that. And I feel like there's nothing wrong with exploring all of the different religions and finding out if and which may work for you ultimately. But I feel like the way we hold on to the idea that our God is the right God, I've always felt like that was a problematic mindset for anyone to have, considering the fact that you always know that people on the other side of the world believe in something different, and they always have. So what makes your version right and their version wrong? I've always, felt that way. But anyway, just wanted to share some, interesting religion commentary with y'all. Y'all know I like to break apart religion and all of that just because it's fascinating to me. It's just merely fascinating. People kind of take a negative tone to it, but I like to understand shit, especially things as deep as religion and spiritual practice, because it's what heavily affects people. It's what people use to judge other people. It's what they use to comfort themselves. It's what they use to, have answers to questions that they don't have the answers to. They will use their religion for that, right? Anyway, so let's get into Am I the Asshole? I've also seen this a lot on TikTok and I enjoy it. So I thought I would kick one to y'all today because this is not like normal conversation in my BondyBlue shows. But I do feel like Friday, I'm gonna get up here, during the day and give y'all a call-in show for everybody, public live. That way, if you want to talk about Real Housewives or Married to Medicine or any other of the top topics that I'm going to present, you can come on and we can have a conversation about it. Okay. So anyway, let's get into Am I the Asshole? Okay. I'm a quiet guy. Hold up. I'm gonna read the title. Am I the asshole for treating my coworker differently after she accused me of SA when I saved her life? As soon as I saw this, I was like, what the fuck? So I haven't even read this yet. So blind reading. Let's get into it. I'm a quiet guy and genuinely friendly. I treats all my coworkers as friends. About 2 months ago during a work lunch, one of my coworkers started choking, so I did the Heimlich thing to help her. After she's in the clear, the others cheered. I asked if she's all right. She just nodded and headed to the bathroom without a word, so I didn't think much about it. Until 2 days later, I got called into HR for my inappropriate behavior. I was confused and asked for more details. That's when they told me that my coworker had filed a complaint stating that she felt my touches when I was helping her was inappropriate. My body was too close and she felt my private touching her. I gave my statement and they put me on ice. I was still working with potentially with potential to be removed. Okay. While they investigated further. After a week, I was in the clear. I returned to working normally without fear, but I started distancing myself from the coworker. She tried to apologize, which I accepted, and tried to explain that she has to tell me that she has trauma, but I still take precautions and only treat her as just colleague. I'm no longer talking to her unless I need to. Always keeping distance, no longer inviting her out unless there's others. She could feel my hesitance towards her and how I no longer treat her the same as the others. She tried to say I'm being ridiculous and petty, but I told her that I'm just looking after myself. So am I the asshole? P.S. Sorry about my English if there are errors. It's my third language. All right, third language. Edit. Wow, this blew up. I'm not very active here, but I have read several comments in DMs. Sorry I can't read all. Thanks for everyone's support. I won't make updates, but I have more clarifications. I'm not from or any English speaking countries. Me and the coworker did have a talk with our colleagues nearby, and she agreed to just limit it to necessary context that related to works. I won't sue her because everything is resolved. And to be honest, it would just bring more problems while wasting money. I also received several DMs about people with similar experiences as me, which made me sad and relieved that I'm not the only one. And I also saw comments about how I'm not considering and just understanding her trauma, which is fair if you're harassed for real. Then you should protect yourself. But I just hope she came to me about her uncomfortableness since we've known each other a couple of years. That's it. Thanks again. What do you guys think? Because, okay, here's the thing. I believe that there are men who will perform the Heimlich maneuver on you and fill you up as they're doing it. I do. I absolutely do. But I also, I also feel like this may be this woman's trauma response. But why would you not have a conversation before you decide to take it to HR? Why would you take it to HR without having a conversation? And then when he is weary of you, you act as if he's wrong because he's weary of you. Yeah, I don't agree with that. I feel like he is protecting himself and he should stay away from her. But I also feel like why would she not have a conversation with him, especially considering the fact that the only reason he was touching you is because he had to perform the Heimlich maneuver on you. Now, this is only from his side. Okay. We don't have her side, but I definitely feel like this is one of those situations where you can't tell somebody, oh, I get it. If somebody was actually harassing you, you can't do that because a lot of the times the abuse is not that like obvious. I want to say that like people will hug you or touch you or let their hand graze your ass or let their hands graze your boobs. Like I can remember when I was younger, one of the things that we used to joke about, and we still joke about it to this day, would be like, hey, a dude or a guy would be talking to a girl and he would hit your chest like he trying to, hey, like that. But he really just trying to feel your titties. I was a kid knowing that there are ways to blur a line between touching somebody for sexual gratification to be a creep and then making them think that it's just some average touch. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I would also want to hear her side of it in order to be completely sure. But I feel like there's some weird shit going on where you're not understanding why he no longer sees it for you, hun. Like, she could have had that conversation with him before she went to HR. And I agree with him not fooling with her because of it. I do. So let's go ahead. Let's move on to the second one. And after the second one, that's 30 minutes. After the second one, I'm gonna get out of here, y'all. Okay. And if somebody wants to come up next week, if you don't come up in that time, then we'll try again next week. So today I started talking to an American mother while in A&E. I don't know what A&E means. Her child was interested in the artwork I have on my leather jacket as it's pretty colorful. The mother mentioned that her daughter's name was Grain. So I assumed for a while that she was another mother who wanted something special to call her child. I remarked that it was a unique name and that I've never met anyone called Grain before. She told me that she's named after her great grandmother and that it's an Irish name. At this point, the alarm bells are ringing in my head because I've realized that the kid is called Grain, okay, generally pronounced as Gronion, Gronion, or thereabouts. I tried to be very tactful and I was like, Irish has such an interesting alphabet. How is her name spelled? Irish names can be tricky. The kid is called Grain, spelled G-R-A with an accent mark I-N-N-E, not Grain, Grain. My partner, who has studied Ireland's political history as part of their dissertation, and also the Irish diaspora and its culture around their university city, is stuck somewhere between stifling a laugh and dying of embarrassment on behalf. So I come up with what I thought was a very positive reply. I said an old school name and a more modern pronunciation. I think that's a great way. Oh, girl, what just happened? I'll just stay off camera because I don't know what the fuck that was. I was just trying to hold up. I lost my spot. Okay, I think that's a great way to pick names. I would like to point out that I do not like the name Grain for a child, nor do I like the way the pronunciation was butchered, but I was trying to be tactful and positive. She asked what I meant, and I said, well, in Ireland, they typically pronounce it Gronion. Her face went red and said that I shouldn't have said that. The pronunciation was wrong in front of the kid because now she's going to grow up knowing that her name is wrong and feel bad about it. What? I apologized for causing offense and related that it's a lovely name in both ways and a fantastic nod to her heritage. I said that I'm sure her great grandmother would be thrilled to be honored by her name being used. I was throwing out just about every positive reinforcement that I could think of, but to be frank, she was pissed off. She told me that I ruined her daughter's self esteem and that her life was ruined by me saying that her existence is wrong. I didn't say that, by the way. I said that her name was pronounced atypically. Grain, for context, was around 2 years old and completely unbothered by the conversation until her mother got angry at me. She was just looking at the pictures on my jacket. The conversation was maybe 5 minutes long, but I managed to ruin this kid's life. Hindsight says I should have kept my mouth shut and waited for somebody else in this city to say something. So am I the asshole? No. No. I don't think that you're the asshole. Not really. A little bit. A little okay, a little bit. Let me explain. Let me hold up. Why is my thing doing this? Y'all, let me refresh. Okay, I'm back. So I'm gonna say this two things. First of all, you overly sensitive. You've ruined my child's life because you hurt their feelings. Parents, y'all work on my fucking nerves. Your kids need to be prepared for the fact that everybody on this earth is not there to protect their fucking feelings. They're going to get their feelings hurt by strangers, adults, friends, family, and everybody else. So please, ma'am, miss me with the bullshit. You fucked up your child's life by giving them a name they can't pronounce. Okay? That's the first thing. Second thing is that he kind of is the asshole, and I'm gonna tell you why. I sometimes notice that I think men need to be right. They need to be right. They need to correct somebody. They need to make some stupid fucking argument. And so instead of just accepting that this woman named her child Grain, you want to make it a point to let her know that she's pronouncing that name wrong. Why? Why? Just because you wanted to prove her wrong about something. And that like that I feel like that's one of those times where people are living in their isms, right? I'm gonna read y'all one more. Okay, because I see something that I want to read. It says, my wife is super pissed off. I want to read that one and then I'll let y'all go. But in that situation, I feel like it's two things happening at one time that makes both of y'all assholes. The mom is an asshole because why are you being hypersensitive about something so fucking stupid? Tell your child what the real enunciation is. You're just mad that somebody corrected you and now you feel dumb, so you want to overreact to the situation. But at the same time, why did he feel the need to do that? Your child's name is going to be Grain no matter fucking what. So why would we do that? You know what I'm saying? Just very, very weird. Oh, it was y'all. Hold up, the European Emergency Room. The A&E is the European Emergency Room. Thank you so much for clarifying because I was like, not American Eagle, child. Okay, so let's do this last one. Am I the asshole? My wife is super pissed off. I have been married for 5 years with my wife, who I met nearly 10 years ago. The thing is, she loves traveling a lot. And she loves traveling on the date of her birthday. Last year, we went to Maceió, Brazil, and had a great time. In May, we had a month-long travel to Europe, where we visited some Greek island, Athens, and a bunch of Spanish cities and Paris. Her birthday is in a few days, and we had some long talks about traveling. Europe left us in debt, and some health issues left us with almost no savings. Elsie, also, it says Elsie, but also, we want to have children this year, and we need some medical assistance for that. That also costs money. I told her that maybe this year we cannot afford to travel anywhere. She didn't like it, but she agreed. But it turns out a few days ago, she snapped. She is now super angry because she is staying home for her birthday. That it doesn't matter what we discuss. She never said she doesn't want to travel, and that me as her husband should know what she wants for her birthday and should have known that she wanted to travel either way and surprised her with some tickets. I really don't know how to diffuse the situation. I offered to buy some last minute tickets anywhere, but now she doesn't want to go, I'm guessing, because she said I just be doing it because she forced me. Am I the asshole? No. No. No, you're not the asshole. I don't think so. I think she's the asshole. Sometimes I think that just on a general scale, women can be very bratty, especially Caucasian women. Now, I don't know if this is a Caucasian woman, you can't really tell, but it's absolutely given like you just think things are supposed to go your way regardless of how the last time it left y'all in debt. Obviously, you don't have enough money to be traveling like that. And maybe instead of saying you understood that y'all could not, maybe y'all could. That's another thing. He said, maybe we cannot. But at the same time, if it was something that was so important to you, then you should have made sure you was going somewhere for your fucking birthday. That's why I say a lot of people they relinquish power where they don't have to, and then they get mad about it. If you really wanted to take a trip for your birthday, maybe it shouldn't have been a couple's trip. Maybe you should just take a trip somewhere like Mexico for your birthday in 2 extra days and bring your ass back on your own dime, and he can just stay home. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe a conversation could have been had where you still could have got what you wanted and it wouldn't have been as expensive. But the fact that he offered to buy you tickets to anywhere you wanted to go and you declined it simply because you didn't want to seem as if you were forcing him, girl, girl, yeah. Child, the women really be doing a lot sometimes, okay? Like, yes, go have a fucking girls trip or some shit. Like, why are you starting issues where there doesn't have to be any? And it's another thing about like not having the money and then bitching a fit about your partner not having the money. If you can't pay for it yourself, what are we talking about? If you can't pay for it yourself, what the fuck are we talking about? The way I used to leave my ex-husband boyfriend behind to travel, the ex-husband hated it. Listen, y'all see how much I be out here. He can't go sometimes. Sometimes he can't go. I'm gonna go. Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. All right. So I just I just feel like fuck. One more? Okay, one more. Let me see. Let me see if I can find a good one. Da, 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 da. Wait, where'd it go? Okay. All right. One more. I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm tired. All right. So I, 27 female. Hey, okay, it says I want to read the title first. Am I the asshole for leaving a family gathering and taking the cake with me after getting my feelings hurt? Let's read and find out. I, 27 female, hit 1 year sober from alcohol at the beginning of the year. This was a huge accomplishment for me. It was bigger to me than finishing college. I told my family that next time we were together for family dinner, I had something to celebrate. This all happened at my mom's. The kids were playing and the adults were hanging out. I took the moment to share that I reached 1 year sober and how good I felt about it. They went with, "Oh, that's what you were talking about? And has it been a year already?" I'm embarrassed to admit, I hope someone would say they're proud of me. My BIL, Steve, brother-in-law, Steve, looked at my sister and they both said, "Well," at the same time. And she said, "Since we're all here, niece just got into a specific gymnastics thing. It's been a long road, but she did it." Steve popped some wine they brought and started giving everyone glasses and cups. He made eye contact with me and his face fell. I had this gnawing feeling, so I got up from the table and I took a walk. I tried to get through the moment mentally so I could be present for my niece to celebrate her success. But when I got back to the house, my sister asked me why I left without saying anything. I said I needed a minute to myself. She looked at me funny and said, "Okay." I said I shared something I was very proud of, and she bulldozed over it. My mom put her hand up and asked me what my news was. I said that I told them I hit 1 year sober. Mom said my generation always wants praise for doing the bare minimum. That wasn't an accomplishment. It was just what I needed to do, like graduating high school. I tried to make it through to dinner, but found myself just not in the mood anymore. I decided to go home. Here is the direct thing I am being called a butthead for. I brought a small berry chantilly cake. Oh, girl, I love me a berry chantilly cake. My favorite to share after dinner. It was the thing I decided I earned. The kids had definitely seen it. On my way out, I decided to take it home with me. I guess when they realized the cake wasn't in a garage fridge anymore, my sister called to ask me why I took it. I said I did because it was my cake to celebrate my accomplishment. She said, word for word, "Are you fucking serious? Oh my God, Emma, grow up. You're such a fucking baby." My mom later texted me directly to tell me how disappointed she was that I threw a tantrum because my niece got more attention than me. I don't think her read of what happened is right, but this is why I am asking you guys. Am I the asshole because I took home the cake in the end? Was that really childish of me considering the kids saw it and then didn't get any? As I was putting on my shoes to leave, Steve found me and directly apologized and said that he was completely oblivious in the moment. I know he did not do anything to intentionally hurt me. First of all, I want to say that it was petty to take the cake, and I probably would have left one piece for my niece, and I would have told her, "Hey, honey, I'm going to leave you this piece of cake in the fridge. Okay, congratulations on getting into whatever she got into." And then I would have took the rest of my cake, and then I would have fucking left because I'm not mad at my niece. I'm mad at your inconsiderate, ignorant ass parents and grandparents. Okay. So I would have left her a piece of cake, and then I would have took the rest. I would have literally went in there, cut her a piece, say, "Here, honey." Okay. And then took the rest of the cake. Edit follow up. This is the follow up, y'all. "Hi, everyone. I just wanted to follow up and say thank you to everyone for the responses. I have a lot to think about when I next go to therapy today, actually, and work on. I do want to clear up a few things that I've seen come up a lot in the comments. I am not an AA. I tried AA before and it was not compatible for me. It works for a lot of people very well, and I'm happy for you if that works for you. So, stuff about the steps and personal inventory are not relative to me. It wasn't a party for my niece. It was just a family dinner. The cake was mine and wasn't brought for my niece. I didn't take it because I wanted to get back at them. I took it because it's my favorite cake and I wanted to eat it because it was my thing that I earned. Also, your thing that you bought. The fuck? I don't know why they opened wine for my niece getting into the gymnastics program. See, I feel like that was intentional. I feel like that was intentional. I'm gonna tell you what it is. As somebody that does all of the things, child, my camera is still acting stupid. As somebody that partakes in alcohol and other things, girl, not all of the things, but just other things, girl. Okay? I'm gonna tell you that sometimes when people abstain from all of that, it feels like a judgment, right? It makes the people that do it feel uncomfortable and question whether they're doing it to a degree that should be worried about, right? So I do feel like everything they did, including kind of acting like what she said wasn't a big deal, it was a big deal for her. Your daughter getting into a gymnastics team is not a big deal for anybody but her. So the idea that, the mom was like, "Oh, you just want to get a pat on the back for something you should do." Yeah, like, no, bitch. If I should be alcohol free, then why are y'all popping a bottle of wine to celebrate a child's accomplishment? It's because y'all are some fucking alcoholics, and me deciding that alcohol is doing too much for me is making y'all feel away. That's what I think. I think they all felt the way and decided to be passive aggressive. Not only did they bulldoze what she had to say, but then you pop out a bottle of wine as if this lady didn't just tell y'all the reason why. Like, what? But the big deal is the cake, not y'all acting like this accomplishment that means something to me is nothing. And then you old hoes want to make it about a generational thing. Yeah. And also older generations are very dismissive of everybody else's feelings. They're assholes. Like, a lot of boomers are fucking assholes. Like, it's not your fault because, I guess you were raised that way. But a lot of boomers, a lot of older generations of people are callous and fucked up individuals that think that their way is the right way. And they just don't, leave a lot of room for people that have different perspectives. So at the end of the day, I feel like, girl, your mama, your sister, the brother-in-law can all kiss your ass, and you absolutely should make up that cake situation to your niece just because it's not your niece's fault and you don't want her parents to make her feel like, oh, your aunt doesn't care about you, or your aunt was just mad because the moment wasn't about her. Like, no, definitely feel like you should make an effort to, make sure your niece knows that that wasn't about her. But yeah, no, I definitely feel like the parents are assholes. uh hold up. I'm gonna say, Mom, if you actually think the reason I'm upset is because niece had something to celebrate, then you are not only oblivious, but also a huge asshole. And if anyone is disappointed, it's me being disappointed in you. I'm sure happy for niece, but all of the rest of you adults in the room were dismissive and really shitty. And I'm under no obligations to put up with your bullshit. At least Steve had the decency to apologize for being so oblivious and insensitive. You clearly have no excuse, nor are you excused. Ooh, read. These are some of the responses, y'all. Tell Steve to tell his wife and mother-in-law, if you do it, they will get defensive and make it about your behavior. And if he does it, the feedback criticism is more objective. I don't know. I don't know what that meant. I don't know what that one meant. Hold up. Agree. Mom, I am disappointed in you for minimizing what you don't feel is important. That's another thing. Also, if high school is the bare minimum, then presumably no one's graduation was celebrated, right? Right? Like, y'all wasn't buying cakes and throwing parties when people graduated from high school. If that's the bare minimum, fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. There's a whole commencement to celebrate people graduating, and you acting like that's the bare minimum. Like, no, motherfucker. It's absolutely not. Either way, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed this MFN advice. And I think I'm going to keep doing them like this. Like, the times that people don't want to call in, they don't have anything to talk about, then I'm just going to either get up here and talk about my own shit, or we're going to do these types of things where I show y'all stuff on TikTok that I find interesting, or we'll do Am I the asshole? Things like that. Okay. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I really, really am appreciative of everybody that comes through to the members only content, because I know it's not like the big stuff that everybody wants to talk about, but I appreciate everybody that supports and comes through to these. I really hope they're either entertaining or a comfort to you or opens up your mind in some way, but I hope it has some value. So thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. Thank you to everybody who, if you were in the last live and you sent a super chat, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Also, everybody that sent to my Cash App, girl, I need a massage. I have not had one in a minute. So thank you so much to everybody that did that. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. All right. Y'all have a good rest of y'all night. Bye.